but there is great danger ahead. And we're all partying and drinking and having a nice time, completely oblivious to what's coming at us. And it's coming at us because our reaction times have been shortened and shortened and shortened and shortened until now there is no time to react. You know, and Obama, God love him, you know, I hope the best for our country, but there's no one that can get out in front of the problems that we're facing. Nobody. It's impossible. He's going to spend this 4 years trying desperately to get in front of the problems. And he is trying. But no one can get in front of the problems. No one. It's impossible. Because this is the end, right now, of the Iron Age. But I want to show you how this works in your real life. Because, especially those of you who are older, you will know what I'm saying. Those of you who are younger, you'll find out. So you're born. Here's where you're born. Just like you're coming out of your mother, right? Looks just like it too, doesn't it? You're born. And every second is longer than the second before. Every minute is longer than the minute before. Every month is longer. Every year is longer. You can go to school and you get out at 3 o'clock and it's 2 o'clock and it takes 15 hours for the clock to move from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. You know, you've all been there. Time just moves really slow till you hit 18 years old. Okay? I'm contending to you that if you live to be 72 years old, the first half of your life ended when you were 18. That's what I'm saying. The last half of your life went from 18 to 72. Now so 18, and then from 18 to 36 is your next time. Starting to cut it short now. At 36, you descend over the top. And you start going down. And now you notice, believe me, every second is faster than the second before. Every minute is faster than the minute before. When you hit 54, when you enter the Iron Age, and I entered into that last year, it's hard to describe. It's everything is happening at once when you're 54. And it's probably the cause of senility, too, because it gets so damn hard to discern what's going on because everything is going on all at the same time, and your reaction times are shorter and shorter, and you begin feeling extremely helpless. I can't even imagine what it must feel like to be in your 70s. So this is our life, see? This is how our life goes. And you can see that time is relative, depending on where you are in the flow. And of course, your life is a microcosm of the larger flow, so that if you're 50 and we come out of this thing, when you're 50, you know, the next 22 years of your life will seem like forever. Because you're not only dictated by your own hypersphere that surrounds your own body, but the universes and the earths and the galaxies and the suns. And so that's the secret of time. And that's where we're headed. And that's why people like me can speak pretty reassuredly that, you know, we're in some serious trouble here. For one thing, we've forgotten these lessons, which you would forget in the Iron Age, of course. And the only way out now is to just grab hold of the handles on your seat, make sure that your seat belt's really tight, take a deep breath, and hope and pray that you get through the null point, which is where we're heading real soon, if we haven't even gone into it already. So what's going to happen? Well, lots of things are going to happen, and not many of them are going to be good until we get through that null point. You're going to see one cataclysm after another. Soon we're going to have cascading cataclysms, where one cataclysm occurs, and then another one occurs, and then another one occurs, and we're not going to be able to even solve the first one because the next two have come along. And then there will be 4 or 5 going at once. And I can get into this if you'd like to hear what's going to happen. I don't want to be a bummer. So what I'm trying to say is that it's temporary, okay? We're going to come through this. When we get out the other side, everything's going to be all right. Let me tell you something else about this. Right now, desertification of the earth is occurring. The earth is being swept by deserts. The deserts in Libya are growing at 100 square miles a year. Okay? Australia is in the worst drought ever. The Murray River, the Mississippi River of Australia, is gone. It's been gone for 3 years. California, a little south of where I live, is in the worst drought. The Central Valley, which is the breadbasket of the entire western United States, California is in the worst drought ever in recorded history. And the federal government just told the farmers in California that they're not getting any water. For the first time ever, they're not getting any federal water. So there's going to be huge food shortages coming very, very soon. Australia is the breadbasket of Southeast Asia. Argentina is the breadbasket of South America. It's in the worst drought. Israel is in the worst drought it's ever been in. Spain is in the worst drought it's ever been in. Like I just said, Africa, it's spreading like crazy. China is in the worst drought it's ever been in. So as the Iron Age gets going, moisture and it begins leaving the system. I don't know, I can explain this, but maybe later I'll explain how that works. But moisture begins leaving the system and we begin drying up. After the Iron Age goes away, though, the moisture will return. And so the rains will return to the Sahara, and it'll begin sprouting trees again. The forests are going to come back, believe it or not. Sounds strange, but they are. Everything's going to come back after we pass that equator. And it's going to come back really fast, because time is relative. Where it takes 50 years to grow a tree in the Iron Age, it may only take 5 years in the Golden Age. Because time is relative. It's stretching out, taking longer. Everything's taking longer. Time is longer, so everything takes shorter. Where in the Iron Age, time is shortened, so everything takes longer. Very, very interesting concept. So, if you know where you are in time, then you can then you know when to do things. So you don't plant your forests in the Iron Age, you plant your forests after 2012. Okay? And this is what alchemy is all about. Alchemy is not about turning lead into gold. Alchemy is about knowing when to perform your experiment so that it will actually work and you'll get a singularity or a miracle. This is the angry sun face on the cross of Henday. And you can see that there's the sun disk, and then there's these rays, and there's another disk on the outside, like the sun is growing, right? Well, 13,000 years ago, when we entered into the Bronze Age, the biggest solar flares that have ever hit the Earth and ignited the forests of North America, which burned for hundreds of years. Millions of trees burned, probably throwing tons of soot and ash into the upper atmosphere, causing the ice age that happened. In fact, I believe the ice ages are caused by this cyclic nature of the sun, which the Freemasons are watching, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Egyptians, the Peruvians, the Tibetans, the Cherokee. All these people are all watching and saying that there's something about the sun. And what I'm saying to you is that when the time field collapses at the end of the Iron Age, the sun is suddenly activated. That's what I believe. And I believe the 4 stars you see are actually planets. And the sun's outer edge is going to go all the way to Mars. It's going to bake the 4 inner planets. I think we're in the middle of the baking right now, actually. Oh, what happened? Did it again. Well, I don't have my message thing. Oh, there we go. All right. So what is alchemy? This was found in Auschwitz. When the Allies invaded Auschwitz and finally liberated the camps, they found this drawing. What is this drawing? Who did this? And this is just truly a remarkable work of art. Drawn by some poor devil suffering, the horrors. And we see the procession of the equinoxes on the earth. This is the stars. The procession of the equinoxes. We see the tree of life and the hand of God coming down. We see that, through time, the fruit of the tree is given, the tree of knowledge, by the way. And we can see that the underworld, the whole underworld is working in concert with this whole system. All right? We don't know who did this. We just found it. But it was obvious that alchemists were even around as late as 1940s. This is an old alchemical drawing, one of my favorites. I tried to find the color one. But you can see the alchemist crawling into the light? Can't see him. Where is he? You can't see this one too clear. But again, you see the signs of the zodiac. You see that the upper world is transduced down through this tree, and it comes down into the earth. And so this is what Gothic cathedrals are doing. This is what the pyramids are doing. They're taking this energy that's coming from above, the one that comes down into the top of your head and creates your light body. Well, you can do that with rock. So the steeples were taking down this energy and bringing it down onto the floor of the church. And then the granite floor would spread this energy out, and they'd build it on the highest hill in town. So it would flow down the hill and down into the villages. And it spiritually changed the villages. That's what they believed. The same thing with the pyramids, although the pyramids are like the Earth's cathedrals. The pyramids, when the capstone is put back on the Great Pyramid, it will be activated again, and you'll see that this etheric energy comes down, spreads out like a speaker through the pyramids, out into the surrounding areas. The pyramids sit right at the center, the geographic center of the earth, and so they built it there. The alchemists built them to help us through the Iron Age by bringing down upper level energies that would not be accessible to us during the Iron Age, but which are totally accessible to us in the Golden Age. Here's another alchemical view of this. This is the upper world, the top of the cross. The snake is the energy coming down, the pillar, into the earth. The cross of Henday had the cross, the pillar, and the earth is the pedestal below. The reason we know that's the earth is because you can the things that are on that pedestal is what the world looks like from the earth's point of view. Stars look like the stars, the moon looks like the moon, the sun looks like the sun, and you can see the procession of the equinoxes in that cross. So if you're standing on earth, you can see the stars slowly going across the night sky.